Good morning, 6:01 here, almost here on Breakfast Television. A rude awakening for dozens of people who live in a Richmond apartment complex thanks to an early morning fire. Crews were called to this 32-unit building on Bennett Road near St. Albans at around 2 o'clock this morning. When firefighters arrived, 2 suites were fully engulfed in flames. Crews managed to put the flames out fairly fast, but there's extensive damage to both apartments. Everyone managed to get out safely, but there's still no word on when they'll be allowed back inside. The cause of the blaze is under investigation.
What they found on arrival was 2 apartments on fire, one above the other. This fire was, it appeared that the whole apartments, both floors were fully involved. The fire was quickly struck, and we're now reconciling people with their apartments.
A 16-year-old girl is in critical condition in hospital this morning after she was struck by a car in Coquitlam last night. It happened at around 6 o'clock on Como Lake Avenue near Blue Mountain Street. Police say the teen was crossing the street while trying to catch a bus when she was hit by a vehicle. Speed appears to be a factor, and the 18-year-old driver is cooperating with investigators. The area was closed to traffic for several hours last night. Mounties are reminding you to pay attention to potential hazards, especially as it continues to get darker earlier on our roadways. Surrey RCMP looking to track down a black pickup truck and a dark-colored sedan after reports of shots being fired near 142 A Street and 110th Avenue last night. Calls came in at around 9 o'clock that 2 vehicles were shooting at each other as they drove through the area. Police have not yet been able to link this to any other shootings nearby, but they've been canvassing the neighborhood looking for witnesses. One person has been taken to hospital after a stabbing outside a safe injection site on Vancouver's downtown east side overnight. Police were called to the area near Hastings and Columbia at around 1 o'clock this morning. Staff at Insight say the facility was not involved in the incident. Happening now in Ontario, Wilfrid Laurier University's Waterloo campus is under lockdown at this hour after a tip about a possible threat. The nature of that threat still unknown, but students and staff and even visitors are being told to keep away from the campus. Charges have now been laid in a hit-and-run accident that left a cyclist with very serious injuries. 55-year-old Bruce Richmond was struck by a car while cycling home from work on the Maryhill bypass back in July of 2014. The driver allegedly left the scene without stopping. RCMP say 28-year-old Sean McAllister is now facing 3 charges, including impaired driving and dangerous driving causing bodily harm. Richmond's family is grateful to everyone who helped, but family members say their lives are forever changed.
The reality of this situation, from our very personal perspective, please never leave a scene. Do the right thing. Stay and call for help.
Richmond's family says Bruce is now at home in intensive recovery. If you use the Paterson Bridge, take note the span will be closed to all vehicle traffic this weekend. Crews need to repair a number of potholes along the bridge deck, so the closure of the Paterson will be in effect from 9 o'clock tonight up until noon on Sunday. The sidewalk will stay open for cyclists and pedestrians, and emergency vehicles will be able to use the span as well. Buses will be rerouted over the Alex Fraser and Queensborough bridges or will end service at Scott Road.
We've been inspecting the bridge every other week for the past 6 months and saw that these repairs were needed to keep the bridge safe and secure. At this time, there are no plans for additional closures until the rehabilitation work begins next spring, but we'll be continuing to monitor the bridge every other week.
BC drivers can expect to pay more in basic insurance rates in the coming months. ICBC is now asking for a 5.5% increase in basic rates instead of a 6.7% rise. If approved, this will mean an average increase of $3.70 per month for customers' basic insurance coverage. The corporation blames rising bodily injury claims. The transportation minister says he will work to keep ICBC's rates as low as possible.
I'm actually disappointed that the proposed basic rate increase for this coming year couldn't be lower than 5.5%. That being said, ICBC is facing some very serious cost pressures as a result of the complexity, frequency, and severity of bodily injury claims.
Well, your home may be worth a lot more than it was at this time last year. 2016 BC assessment notices are being mailed out right now. Single-family home values are seeing the largest increase of the last 10 years. They could be up by as much as 15 to 25%. Strata properties could experience 5 to 10% gains as well, although keep in mind the assessed value, not always what homes sell for in this market. A cross-country running relay benefiting people with HIV and AIDS has wrapped up in hope. 44 men and women took part in the Mile Relay for Hope across Canada. 3 BC residents ran the last 554 kilometers. So far, this event has raised about $13,000. People living with HIV and AIDS say they're grateful for all of the support.
Well, this run really is just about raising awareness for people who are living with HIV and AIDS across the country. It's been over a decade since there's been a really big cross-Canada awareness campaign for HIV and AIDS.